Mm.
Good morning, good afternoon, and a very wintry good evening to you. Welcome to the Business Mix. My name is Chrissy.
And yes, welcome to the Business Mix on Colourful. My name is Rachel, and we are here with another, I would say another great show. But actually, I'm actually very excited about this show because we get to do a little practical
Something different, something
practical,
different,
like,
yes.
science experiment type. Remember, like when you was at school and it was science lessons and you was going to do a practical and
Oh my gosh.
that's I'm very
Taking it back to
excited.
school, Rachel, taking it back to
Yes,
school.
but welcome to the Business Mix, where we bring you the best in all things Black business. And we just join you on your entrepreneurial journey as we're traveling and riding the entrepreneurial roller coaster ourselves. So
Hmm.
we hope you've had a productive 2024. We're coming into the end to the
Yes, we
last.
are.
So this is our last show in
Crazy.
2024.
It is, it is. Can you imagine? So again, as we always say, every year we're gonna come bigger and better. Next year doing different things, all sorts. Can't wait to show you what's happening for the business mix next year,
There's
2025.
we've got big sleeves because there's a lot up there. So
Yeah.
yeah, you'll
Wow.
have to wait and see. I have to
Wow.
wait and see.
Oh dear.
And
So
our
Rachel, who have we got
yeah,
today?
our guest. So bit of background, bit of context. Obviously, it's that season, the wining and dining and celebrating. So we've been out. We've been
We've been shaking a leg, we've
out and
been
eating like
eating,
quite a lot.
hence the double chinning. The chinning
Oh,
is
nice.
doubling.
You know what? The best thing about being on Colourful is that no one could see what the
All
double
right.
chin. So that's fine. But we have been out. Like a lot of our shows have been kind of around like the food and beverage
Recently,
industry,
definitely.
culinary industry, and we're just keeping to that theme. So we actually went out. We went to a supper club, which was put on by UK Black Chefs Network, and it was Giants of Africa, with a wonderful chef whose name just suddenly escapes
Yeah,
me. I
yeah.
don't know why. I have to.
You carry on. I'm gonna find
All
that. I'm
right,
gonna get it.
okay.
I'm gonna get
So
it. I'm
it
gonna
was
get it.
definitely like just like a tantalizing kind of journey for the taste buds through Nigeria.
Yes.
High end, fine dining. You kind of had to be there. If there's another one, you've
There
got.
will be, won't there? I
There
think
will
is it
definitely be
next
another
year?
one.
2025, January.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
January,
Depending
but
on
I
the
don't
month.
know. But yeah, she goes everywhere, does it different locations. But the food was beautiful. It's a mixture of things you wouldn't necessarily put together. No, or put differently. So maybe you would expect moi moi, but it's in a different way. It was lovely. We had fun, didn't we? We
Yeah,
had great time
you
and
did.
we met some friends out. So yeah, we had a blast. And then just by chance, this young dapping gentleman came to our table, was chatting to us, and we asked what he did. And he said he's a wine expert. And we're like,
Um,
Yes.
oh, what does that entail? And here he is.
yes.
Manny does wine. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
Welcome,
so much.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, as Chrissy said, we were out eating, drinking, wining, and dining. You came to our table. Kind of, I think you served us some cocktails
It
first.
was a
Is
cocktail.
Yes.
that
It was a
correct?
plantain cocktail. Yeah.
Yeah, plantain. Sorry,
No, I'm African, so
pl
plantain.
Yeah, no, don't what she wants to try. We're in the season. Don't try it. Thank you.
plant
Carry on.
planting cocktail with also, but mixed with Cromanti
Yeah,
rum,
Comanche
which is
rum.
a
And
black
then it was
owned
a plantain
rum.
rum as well.
Yep. Which was lovely. Even me who doesn't like coconut, I
Mm.
I did drink it. Um, so please tell us, introduce yourselves. How did you find yourself there at that event? Or maybe we'll come to that in a little bit, but just introduce yourself to our listeners.
Cool. So as you said, my name is Manny Does Wine. What I do. Is it not loud enough? Got a shout. I got a shout.
Carry on. Shout,
Yeah,
shout.
all right. So yes, Mannydoeswine. What I do is basically in the name. So I do everything to do with wine. So I teach people, I speak to brands about exposing their wines. I kind of work with supermarkets as well. So I go to tastings for Tesco's, Aldi, Morrison's, most of the supermarkets that you've got, Asda, most of the supermarkets they've got going on, and I basically just see what they've got, talk about the wines, again, teach. I do also run vineyard tours as well. So I
Okay.
kind of like get more people from ethnic diverse backgrounds to understand the world of wine through activity.
Mm-hmm.
So run wine tastings for people privately and for corporate events as well. So yeah, I don't know, I'm a little bit of everything when it comes to
Love it. Absolutely. So we're going to get to how you got into the wine industry in a little bit.
Yeah.
But what is your, I guess, what before you got into wines, what were you doing? What was your professional background? Or yeah.
So yeah, I was a train driver.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was a train driver before I got into wines, and yeah, like I know that we're going to talk about my journey. Do you want to talk about it
Mm.
now, or do you want to go into it a bit later? But yeah, like start off with the trains, and then I just ended up in wine. It was only supposed to be a small gap, and I ended up spending a while there still. So yeah, I learned a lot more about the wine industry through working in Majestic, because that's where I worked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and
Yeah, I remember having a conversation about you at Majestics and how you would travel most of the UK and you would be the only Black representative in the company.
well, it was most of London, to be honest. Like, I didn't really like. There's only occasionally I stepped out of like
Mm.
London. Like, I'll go to places like Grantham or whatever, like a couple of times, but it was more London and mainly Southeast London. But all the stores that were around, I was in all of them.
Mm. So
Yeah.
you were well known across London
Oh yeah.
in
Well,
the
it's
Majestics.
very hard not to know me. I was the only black guy. So
Exactly.
they're like, oh yeah, you must be Manny. So I was like, yeah.
So tell us, I guess, through how long have you been doing the within the wine industry and as a wine specialist, would you say? How long have you started?
Well, I did I left Majestic in like 2016. So from I say basically then I basically had everything I needed to keep going forward in the wine industry, but I just forgot about it until lockdown kicked in.
Right.
And obviously from lockdown, everybody was drinking at home. And so then everyone started asking me questions about wine because I'm the only person they knew that knew what wine entailed. And yeah, from there, I started an Instagram page and then kept going from there, and realized in this wine space that I'm in now, there's not many people of an ethnic diverse background in there. So I just kept going from there. And yeah, I'm here.
And was it a difficult transition, like moving from trains to, okay, you're in Majestics, but I mean, is it something that you had a passion for once you got into it and it just continued and escalated, I guess?
I think that's what it is. I got into it and then it just kept going. I just stayed. I kept stay. I just because okay, working in Majestic, you drink every day, and
Okay.
yeah, you basically drink every day because there's a tasting counter. You go
Tasting.
in, you're this, and wine is vast. It's bigger than I ever thought in the beginning. I thought it was just, oh yeah, that all wine's the same and stuff. But once you get in there, you realize that there's so much to learn, so much to taste, so much to understand that yeah, I just ended up staying there for like 2 years instead of the 3 months. And then my love for wine spiraled. Like I kept learning. After I left Majestic, I'm still learning, still learning. Even till now, I'm still learning because
Mm.
So
so yeah.
what would you say is, as you said, you keep learning. What have been some, I guess, new discoveries that you've perhaps come across this year, within the past 12 months or so, any favorites or any surprises, something that you thought I would never see this or didn't know about that? Yeah.
Okay, well, let's say I don't know if I learned about it this year, but do you know about palm wine?
Yes.
Sparkling palm wine is a thing now, and
Okay.
made in like a traditional method, like how they make sparkling wines properly. They're making palm wine like that. Oh, how they're making traditional sparkling wines. They're making palm wine the same.
Mm.
Yeah, it tastes lovely. So that's a big discovery. Also, that Audi makes sells exceptionally good wine.
Really?
Oh yeah. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's Audi, but
Ooh.
no, Audi sells really good wine, and I feel like a lot of people need to try their wines more. They're
Mm.
able to buy a lot more, and then by being able to acquire a lot, they can bring prices down.
Yeah.
So they give you better quality for cheaper prices. But yeah, like Audi, definitely a big discovery for me this year.
We probably have to say that other
Disclaimer. Yeah.
markets are available, but if you haven't tried Aldi, give them a go and then let us know what you thought. Were they
Definitely.
as good as, better than, worse than your usual, I guess your usual wine retailer that you might try?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if people decide to follow me, which they should, yeah, I talk a lot about different wines. So like Aldi, I'll pick up a wine from Aldi, and I'll talk about the wine from Aldi, and
Mhm.
so like I'll tell you what you can have it with, what it tastes like, and then
Yeah.
obviously it's a great recommendation for people. And if they like it, they can tell me what they think. So
Right.
Good stuff. So does that mean cheap wine's not necessarily a bad wine? You know, you get that kind of that
the
thought
stigma,
process,
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that the cheap
yeah,
wines are the really awful ones, give you a headache the next day kind of thing.
it's a I think it's a fine line because there's some cheap wines that are not really good for you and are covered up with like a load of sugar.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at stuff like I really shouldn't name their names,
No, don't name the
No,
name.
but yeah, but
But
there's
what
some
I will
supermarkets.
let's say this: if you want to get the real lowdown, at the end of the show, we'll give you Manny's details. You can follow him, you can DM him, and he'll tell it all there. How
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. I'll spill the beans, man. I'll spill the
that?
beans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But
Spill the
but
tea.
yes, there are some, as I think you mentioned to us when we met, there are some wines or some brands that actually probably not the best for.
Yeah,
Mm.
not the best,
Okay.
but there are some cheaper wines that are only cheap because maybe the region that they're grown in is not well known. So
Right.
Mm.
reduce the price to get people to drink those wines, or the
Mm,
country in itself
got
is
it.
not well known. So then they have to bring it down. Like if you find like maybe a Moldovan wine, you like in a supermarket, you might be like, nah, I don't know if they make wine in Moldova, but they do.
Mm,
Mm.
Not many people are going to pick it up because they don't know what it tastes like. So they
yeah, yeah.
reduce the price for you to pick it up.
And so I guess off the back of that then, so yes, we're talking about, drinks, food and beverage industry, but actually there's a whole kind of tourist tourism
Mm.
to
Yeah.
this and to the work that you do. So how do you kind of like go about perhaps creating a tour in Moldova, for example, to go and maybe taste these kind of wines? Is that the kind of thing that you do?
Yeah, so at the moment, like I've recently come back from Argentina.
Mm,
So like I learned a bit more about the vineyards that were out there and the processes you have to go through to maybe visit some of these vineyards. And a lot of them are very easy to visit. You just
Mm.
basically go online, just see what vineyards are in the area that you're trying to visit. So if you go to, I don't know, if you go in Spain, for example, and you go to Barcelona, you can just research the vineyards that are outside of the city, and
right.
you could just take a day and just maybe hire a car even. Well, actually,
Yeah.
you're gonna be drinking, so
Responsible drinking only,
yeah,
yes.
you might get Uber
Yeah,
because
yeah.
or something like that because like the vineyards outside of Barcelona are not that far away. They're like
Mm,
maybe 45 minutes outside of the city, so it's actually quite easy to get to. And then yeah, you can just take a tour, speak to them. You might be able to pay. Some of them are very friendly and they're like, oh, just come and drink. Come in, come in. So
Mm.
you need like some people are just very proud of what they have. The smaller vineyards, the bigger ones, yeah, you usually have to pay for the tour. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can just book a flight, figure out what's there, and plan your trip.
Take it from there. Now, I know I've been to wine tasting, and I think I was quite young then, thinking that when we go wine tasting, you are going to devour glasses and glasses of wine, but you're not. You're
No,
going to be sophisticated. You're going to be
or you're
more.
gonna try
You're
it anyway.
going to,
You're gonna try
you're going to taste little bits at a time to get real flavor of the wine. So just before, in case you haven't been, yeah, just so you can lower your expectations that you're going to be
Yeah.
drinking
No, because
glasses
you
and
need to be
glasses
on
of
a
wine.
level, so then that way
Yes,
you can remember what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll be on the
yes,
floor. Like after,
absolutely.
can't give you big, massive glasses as well. They tend to be smaller pieces. So like, just so you can keep your head.
Yes, of course, of
And then
course.
at the end of it, whatever's left over, yeah, you just go through
There
it.
you go. So you've spoken a bit about your journey so far, but what does it actually take to be a wine expert, a wine connoisseur?
Qualifications are it's not a must, but it helps because
Mm,
once you get into like you do your WSET, Wine and Spirits Educational Trust qualifications, level 1, 2, and 3, and from that gives you a good foundation as to how to talk to other people about wine, as well as for yourself, just to build up your knowledge. Other than that, if you drink a lot,
mm.
if you drink like a good level of wine and you like to explore and you look at different countries and um, different areas within that country, if you like a white, a red, a rosé, a sparkling, port, sherry, um, there are even orange wine. There's so many different types of wine.
Yeah.
When you start sampling and tasting and getting into different areas, then yeah, or even just looking at different grape varieties, and then you're just
Mm.
tasting, and then from there, looking at the different grape varieties from the same grape variety from the different countries, like and see how they taste different. You know what I mean? You can have a Sauvignon Blanc from France and a one from New Zealand, and they taste different.
Mm.
Completely different.
Yeah, so after all that, you're able to talk to people about it.
Can I ask you just I'm sure there are many wines that you like that kind of you've got your favorites, your top tiers up there. But are there
Yeah.
any that you don't like? Do you have like a
Oh, Rachel,
I
you
know,
are.
right? These questions. I just wonder because like even as a chef, you cook with foods all day long, but there's some things that actually I don't like the taste of that, but I have to eat it. I don't
Yeah.
like the taste of this wine, but people, do you know what I mean? I do tastings with it. Is there one that you protect perhaps? It's
Yeah,
don't like the
there's a couple. There's a couple that I don't like. I would say grape varieties more than anything. And then
right. Okay.
like so for example, Sauvignon Blanc, but from New Zealand,
It's not for you.
it's not for me. It's just
Okay.
overly acidic. It's overly acidic and it's too sharp.
Right. Got it.
You know
Got
what I
it.
mean? So, and I know that a lot of those people, a lot of the winemakers tend to pick the grapes a bit earlier, just
Mm,
so they can give that little extra acidity. So
Okay.
it gives it that it's like it's calling card, it's mark. So
got it.
a lot of people know that New Zealand wines high in
It's
acid.
like this. Okay.
Yeah,
You
it's
see,
not
I'm
for me.
learning. I did not
We
I
are
didn't know
learning. We
that.
are learning.
I had no
But
We
idea.
are
there's
indeed.
that. There's also a grape variety called Picpoul, which is like a French variety from the coast. I don't like that wine.
Right. Okay.
I don't
Said it
like
with
it.
passion.
Like, it's like, and the thing is, a lot of brands. I actually made a video on my Instagram about the fact I don't like this variety,
Hmm.
and a couple of companies started sending me Pickball to try and change.
Yeah, they started just I bet for you to taste it so you can say, oh, I
Yeah,
really like this one. But Manny was
yeah.
like, no, I
No,
don't
there
like
was
it.
one, but the
Oh,
thing is, it's
okay.
like the way they've made it is not the typical Pickball.
Got
Like
it.
Okay.
it had like it had more of a creamy element to it. So the
Hmm.
process that they'd put under was not it's not how I'm used to when it comes to a pit bull. So
Got
I was like,
you.
oh, I like this. I don't like the other ones.
Got you.
So it
Okay.
was like, yes, you can not like a grape variety, but you have to try different brands because everyone slightly makes it a little bit different, and then you find one that you do like. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm.
Yeah, we learn them. So Manny, in your experience, I know we're going to do something special nearer the end, but in your experience, have you come across a lot of black-owned wines on the shelves, or have you gone to grapeyards that are vineyards that are owned by black families? Because I know they do that a lot in America. Have you come across them?
Only
Are they popular? What are we doing to kind of elevate and highlight these brands as well in the sector?
So I know, like, when it comes to UK, when it comes to black-owned brands, when it comes to in relation to wine, there's not many. Like, there's two guys that I know. The guy who does the sparkling palm wine,
Yeah.
his name is, it's like Mania, sorry, London Mania.
Yeah.
If you find that on Instagram, you'll see the sparkling palm wine. And there's another guy called Mags who he's like an educator, but has a wine company himself.
Okay.
And he has his own wine as well that he
Right.
sells under his name, under the name Mags. So these are the only two guys that I know that do anything in terms of wine production. There's a lot of spirits brands
Yeah.
in the
Definitely.
UK that you find, like a lot of black people who do vodka or a brandy or a rum.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those, but when it comes to wine, it's not the same. Whereas I speak to a lot of people from America, and there's brands on
Yeah, it's
brands on brands
growing,
on brands.
really growing.
Like, if it's not individuals, then you've got a lot of celebrities who
Yeah.
have picked
Of
up
course.
on, like, obviously Jay-Z has Ace of Spades, Mary J. Blige has a wine, Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan has a wine.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you've got a whole lot of basketball players
Oh, God.
who have wines as well. So it's like it's a big thing over there. But slowly, oh, actually, there is. Can't believe I forgot about this brand. It's a South African brand, or a South African wine from a UK brand. Dean Forbes, uh, he has a wine with another guy called Dumi, who he was from the music background, Tiny Temper's manager
Okay.
thing, and now they've kind of come together and made a wine called Severin.
Nice.
That's another black owned wine.
Good.
I can actually say, yeah, he's out there.
So how does that work in practice? Does the UK have vineyards, or would these manufacturers or these winemakers use vineyards abroad and then make the wines and then they're over?
They're usually abroad. So,
Okay.
but the UK does have vineyards. The UK has close to 1,000 vineyards. So there are a lot that's here. But in terms of what grows here, got the same thing that grows in Champagne. So we have very much the same kind of conditions as well. So a lot of the French champagne houses are buying vineyards in the UK and are now starting to grow. They'll call it sparkling wine because they can't.
But I was just about to
Yeah, they
say
can't call it
that
champagne.
can't call it champagne, can't
Call it
call it
champagne because
Loud.
it's
cava,
not made in
can't call it
Champagne.
brut.
So they'll just call it UK or British sparkling wine.
Sparkling wine.
Name like a
Yeah.
brand name on top, but be owned by, say, Moe or Tattinger or
Got
something
it.
like that. So
Wow.
in the next few years, you'll see a lot more UK sparklings hitting the shelf that are owned by
The bigger bigger brands. Wow.
yeah.
Okay, that's
So, like,
interesting to
stuff
know.
like, so you'll grow here Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, which are the three wines, the three grape varieties that you'll find in Champagne, as well as a couple of other, like, lesser known grape varieties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I think maybe let's do one more question before we get to the fun bit. Actually, no, let's get to the fun bit right now because times are ticking and we want to spend as much time. So, what we're going to do, good listeners, is that we're going to do a bit of a wine tasting with you guys. So, you may not be able to see us, smell the wine, but we encourage you to go out and try some of the items that we've got. But before we do this, Manny, how do people find you, contact you, and follow your journey with wine?
If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok as well, both under the name Manny Does Wine. So Manny does wine. You'll find me on both. Very easy to contact me. My email's on there, not my number because the internet, it's crazy. But yeah, a lot of people who want to DM me, ask me questions or whatever, you can get through to me on there. And any questions you do have, I'll make a reel or something based around the question you have, because whatever you're asking, someone else is probably asking the same thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Perfect. So how are we starting? Are we going with a white or a red? And then can you introduce the wine that we're going to be exploring?
Okay, so we're gonna start with the white and then we'll move to the red. Like, I know everyone's seen this rosé, but we're not having that one. Just like I put it here so people know that there is a rosé available. All right, so this is a brand called Amandala that I'm actually an ambassador for. So let's see if you guys can see that. As you can see, a lovely black lady on the front.
Yeah.
With
So right, let's describe, because I actually really love the branding.
I love the
It's
branding.
very striking. So there's a lovely black lady on the front. She's got a beautiful afro. The afro is adorned with color. So the lady's like in black and white.
Yeah.
And the afro is adorned with flowers, butterflies in color.
Birds.
Yeah,
It's
really,
there
really
to represent her crown. So her crown is basically full of everything that, like, nature, you know what I mean?
Got you.
It gives that whole idea of black women, nature, like the loving, caring, soft side of who a black woman is. So
and at the same time still very glamorous, like very beautiful. Like she looks wonderful. She looks stunning.
The name, where does the name come from?
So the name Amandala is actually the word that Nelson Mandela shouted when he came out. So when he was released, he shouted Amandala to the people, meaning the power within us.
Right.
So it has, if you realize on the label, you've got a lot of like freedom, powerful kind of statements. So this one, the white one, is actually future. I don't know if you want to see.
Yes, okay.
So future. The rosé one is freedom, and the red one is power.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all have an element of I don't know, freedom, power.
Definitely, it's empowering. It's empowering. Yeah.
It's lovely description at the back as well. Sorry to interrupt you, Manny.
It's all there. It's all there, people. So
yeah.
But
really nice.
the most amazing thing about this company is it is an all-woman company. So everybody's female and everybody's black. So from the woman who creates the winemaker, to the woman in finance, to the woman who is picking the grapes in the vineyards, everyone's a woman. So it's basically a woman-dominated wine brand, and everyone's black. So it has, like, obviously represented with the black woman on the front of the label.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, let's get into it. So we're starting with the white. I have the white. Yeah. So lead the way, Manny. I'm going to be pouring the wine.
All right, cool. So let's get into it. All right. So you know how to pour a glass of wine, right?
You have to tilt.
Please tell us.
Just tilt it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as we're tasting, we only have a little bit. Don't go crazy. Yeah, like at my tastings, you only, like, this is probably the most, and this is even
that you get
too much. You know what I mean? So, all right. So do you know how to hold a glass of wine?
No. Again, describe.
So you always have to hold from the stem, or the base. I like to hold mine like this because it gives me swirl power. I can angle it. But if you just hold it like that, it's seen as the classy way of holding
the classy way.
Definitely classy here on the stem. And is that because your hand, does it change the temperature of the wine?
So if you hold it like this, you start changing the temperature of the wine.
Look at you, Rachel.
And she knows. So,
I thought she only drank Lambrini, but she actually knows her.
She's been learning. She's been learning.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of wine tastings, and I do remember them saying like, try not to hold the actual
I
glass,
did not know.
Yeah,
bulb,
not
the
hold the
bulb of the
bowl.
glass
So
itself.
Okay,
you
cool.
hold the bowl. You basically warm up the wine, and it changes the flavors and the taste and the aromas that you
Okay.
get. So you know,
So this is a Sauvignon Blanc.
this is a Sauvignon Blanc. Yes.
Yes,
So
okay.
South African. This is South African brand. So this is South African Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So one thing I'll say is when you get like a Sauvignon Blanc or any wine from warmer countries, so basically countries in the southern hemisphere, you're gonna get more flavors of tropical fruit if it's a white, stone fruit like peach and stuff like that. If it's in the northern hemisphere, you're more likely gonna get stuff like citrus, like lemon, grapefruit, and stuff like that. So southern, you can more tropical, northern, more citrus. Yeah. And so this is from South Africa. So you got more the southern hemisphere. So as you're swirling, do you know why we swirl?
No.
Okay, so when you're swirling the wine, again, you're basically allowing the air to touch the wine a little bit more. So by
Okay.
doing that, it opens up aromas and
Releases.
flavors in the wine. Yeah.
Excellent.
So cool. So as I'll get you to have a smell. What do you get?
I knew you'd ask that.
Mm.
I'm gonna say no, I'm not.
Come on.
Is there lemony?
Yeah, you will get a little bit of
Sure.
citrus. You will get a little bit of citrus, but can you? All
I,
right,
I can't. I'm trying to describe the smell that
You
I'm.
need to describe it very well because people can't see you with
Grapes.
your grapes.
You see that one? Yeah, that's such a cop out. We've got, I smell grapes. Like, yes, you get grapes. All right, you really, what you should get. What if I tell you it should be tropical scents? So, what kind of tropical flavors?
Maybe a bit of pineapple,
There we
maybe.
go.
Oh, is it?
There we go. A
Pineapple.
little bit of passion fruit. Get a little banana in
Yes.
there.
So yeah, I can definitely the pineapple and passion fruit. They're the flavors that I've found it difficult to. Yeah.
All right. Let's have a taste. Go on. Let's have a taste.
Honest response.
Nice, isn't it?
And whilst she's thinking of her response, I will also say, because I'm the responsible one here, that it is recommended that we have just 14 units of alcohol a week. Was it responsible drinking over the Christmas period for these
drink
people?
responsibly.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Rachel.
Always
You are the
make sure
responsible one.
there's a designated driver. If you're out for the evening, definitely do not even think about drinking and driving.
Okay. I like this. Pleasantly surprised.
Okay. Why?
Very nice. It's very smooth.
Very
smooth. Sometimes with this particular wine, you get that sharpie taste. That's what I found, but I don't know if it's just the brands that I've been drinking. But this is very smooth, very nice.
Yeah.
Rachel, you know where I'll be after this. But anyway, with my feet
drinking up her 14 units.
This is very nice, really nice.
Okay.
One thing about these wines, they're actually made to be approachable, very drinkable, made to be drunk with friends as well.
Okay.
So if you have a party or if you have like a group of people around, say you're around with the girls, grabbing a bottle of Amandala, whether the white, the blush, or the red.
Yeah.
Very approachable. So you're more likely going to find something that everybody can enjoy.
Got it.
Beautiful. So before we move on to the red, because Rachel's eagerly awaiting to have the red, what would you pair this with?
Okay, so with this, again, it's a white. You're more looking for stuff like you can have some salad, like a cheese salad. You can have some cheeses as well. So if you want something like I love like the blue cheese.
Yeah, so why would it go with the blue? Would it go with the blue cheese?
I say try it. The cheeses, as well as like stuff like if you have like a chicken or some fish. Like just I don't know, maybe a salmon tuna, something like that. You can enjoy that with it, or you can drink on its own.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. This is lovely. So,
right,
Rachel,
is it my turn now?
It's your turn.
So I've got the power. So yes, go for it, Manny. Introduce this one.
Okay, so this one is the power. So you see that on the side of the bottle there.
Yeah.
This is also Shiraz and Zinfandel blend. So
Okay.
a lot
Okay.
of people, when they think Zinfandel, they think that white Zinfandel that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'll say, there's no such thing as white Zinfandel. It's not a
Oh,
real grape.
Okay.
Zinfandel is a red grape.
Right.
So, like what they're selling you with that is like a gimmick. It kind of
Okay.
makes people feel, oh, it's something different. It's new. No,
Mm.
it's just yeah.
Right.
okay.
It's
Got it.
just this. So yeah, Shiraz, you're more like you got like the more spicy element when it comes to wine. So
Yeah.
whether it's Australian or if it's from South Africa, it still gives you that more spicy element. Whereas the Zinfandel tends to be more of the calming element. It kind
Got
of
you.
gives a little bit of smoothness to it as well,
Got you.
and a little bit more fruit. So
Mm. So
yeah.
they've tried to blend the
Oh,
two.
they blend the two, yeah. They blend
Okay.
the two. So
Oh, all
it's a
right.
nice, it's a lovely blend. So
Okay.
you
So
ready?
let's pour.
Right.
Let's put this here.
So I made a comment earlier
Yeah.
about red wine and leaving it to breathe. Is that true or false? Do you need to do that? Can you just
Yeah,
go
no,
straight into it?
it's definitely a thing. So it's usually called like decanting. So it's more like you're
Okay.
decanting your wine. So a lot of people tend to pour their wine into like a decanting vase.
Yes, yeah.
So by doing that, you poured it all out. The wine is now mixing up with the air. You swirl it around, whatever. You can leave it for maybe about half an hour. It kind of changes the whole thing. Like you get more flavors, more fruit flavors, mainly because a lot of these wines have been stored in the bottle for a while. So
Right.
Yeah.
after they've been fermented or maturated or
See.
whatever, they put them straight in the bottle.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
like ones that have been in steel tanks instead of like wooden casks.
Baskets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the steel tanks, bottle it straight away, they sell it to you.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
have to say, even just opening the wine, this is really fragrant. Like I can smell it like literally as soon as I hadn't even poured it yet, just opened the
yeah.
bottle
You
and
open the
very,
bottle,
very
it's like it just
fragrant.
came
Yeah,
up.
absolutely.
Yeah, like in half an hour, it will add extra flavors to it. Trust me.
Wow.
You-
Okay.
Well, we've got half an hour today, so
To
Yeah,
drink
no,
up,
later
drink
on,
up.
obviously, you can tell me, Manny, you know what? I had that thing 30 minutes later, and I'm telling
It
you,
tastes different.
it was lovely. But
Oh,
also, by swirling your wine, it kind of does a lot of the same thing too.
same thing.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
just
gonna
like on a short scale.
give it a
Your
little
your swirl game needs a little bit of work, but it's all right. We can, you know,
Me.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
scared it's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, don't worry, you have to have no fear. No
Be
fear.
free, Rachel.
I've got the
The
power.
Be
I've got the
That's what I'm
power.
free.
saying. It's the
Wow.
power. Come
Free.
on.
Okay.
All right, cool. So after swirling, what do you smell?
Oh, definitely like, oh, okay. So first thing, definitely spice, like it's
Yeah,
spicy. Like it's
very
almost
spicy.
like clove. It's not cloves, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I know what you
Like,
mean. Yeah.
cloves and pimento and that
Hmm.
kind of smell.
Yeah,
But
that's more coming from the Shiraz. So there's a
yeah,
lot of
but
good smell.
actually, then I got a little bit of a punch. Not this is gonna make me sound very unwine educated, but this is just the way that the person, not medicinal, but almost like a not aniseed. I can't actually put my finger on it, but there's a
I
And
know what
isn't
you
it
mean.
weird?
yeah.
You can smell it, but to say what you can
This
smell
is,
is
this is why I rate Manny and what he does, because he's
yes.
very well and able to articulate what we're supposed to be smelling, the fragrances, all of that, the
So
body.
Manny, tell us, what are we meant to be smelling? What's
Yeah,
Rachel
so
meant to be
That's what I
obviously,
smelling?
want to say. There's definitely it's there's a depth to it's like there's layers
yeah,
to
there we go.
it.
Oh, look at
It
Rachel
smells a little
showing off.
structured, doesn't it? They call it structured.
Okay, that's what I'm smelling.
Yeah, so like, but basically, you're smelling like different levels of fragrances. So you're gonna
Mm,
get different aromas. I get like a lot of red fruit as well. So stuff like plum,
Plum.
yeah,
Yes. It's like, have you ever had like a plum
a little bit of
crumble?
cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That starts kicking in as well. But with the spice, when you're talking about clothes and stuff, yeah, I more or less will say you more or less on the money when it comes to that.
Right.
So yeah.
Woo. Okay,
All
let's
right.
Well
So
done,
and
Rachel.
there's a reason why I chose the red, because I'm not normally a red kind of girl, you see.
okay.
But I wanted to grow up a little bit. Let me be a bit more mature. So
More adult, yeah.
yeah, more
More adult.
adult. I should have like a side of olives with this or something, I'm feeling.
Ooh.
Wow.
You know, a little
Olives
cheese
with
board. A little
wine.
cheese board, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this is not bad.
Nice, right?
Yeah, there's no vinegar taste. That's why I did not like red. It's very
It's smooth.
vinegary.
It's smooth. It's approachable, and that again,
Yeah.
that's what the wines are supposed to be like. This is why you can have them with friends, because
Yeah.
no matter what friend you've got, you'll find something here, and no one will be like, "Oh no, I'm getting that little tannins," for example.
No, not at all. I could actually drink this. I
Yeah.
thought, let me get the red. Just if I don't like it, I can cook with it afterwards. But I don't
Mm.
want to cook with
You're
this.
gonna
It's
drink it.
like
You're
I
gonna
want to
drink it
drink
now,
it.
innit?
Very, very nice. Well, Amandla, I cheers to you.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
don't worry. We're gonna tag them at some point.
Yeah.
Let them
They'll
see
be
what's going
notified.
on.
They'll be
Yes.
notified. Lovely.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
I wish we
when you
had
taste
another
it, you taste
one.
the spice.
Say that again.
You taste the spice.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's warming without being like a punch to the chest.
Yeah,
That's
Mm.
another
it's
thing.
like a winter warmer.
Yeah, I
It's like
think
it hugs you a little bit when you're.
maybe that's where I was that's like the medicinal kind of, it's
No,
like,
yeah.
oh, it
Mm.
makes me feel
Could
oh,
you do a mulled wine with it?
Yeah, you can do a mulled wine with most
good.
reds.
I mean, I'm
Like,
not a mulled wine
Wine
kind
girl.
of gal, but
but
you
yeah,
could do
no,
a
to be
nice
honest,
sangria.
oh yeah, that's
Ooh,
good. There we go.
Rachel.
Okay,
Yeah, you could do a
okay.
lovely sangria with that, I
Mm.
think.
But yeah, like you can see yourself coming home after a long day at work, and say someone's annoyed you, and you're like, you know
Mm.
what? Let me just pour a nice glass, just a glass. You know, they're
Just a
crazy,
glass.
but a glass, and just sit down, curled up on the sofa. You know, it might be raining outside or whatever. You know how England goes, and then just be like, I don't know, watching a nice program on Netflix with a glass of this.
Bit of
That's fine.
EastEnders, a call to Rachel complaining about life. Sounds like a perfect night in.
You see, you see, you see. You've already set the scene.
Yeah, set the scene,
Actually
set the
have.
scene,
You
set the
actually have.
scene. Oh, this has been amazing. I wish we had another 45 minutes and another bottle of wine to try, but alas, we don't.
Mm.
Manny, thank you so, so much. It's been a real joy having you.
Yeah.
And what a better way to end 2024 with the
With
business mix.
to say cheers
And saying cheers,
to
cheers,
us
Yes.
all.
Manny, cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank
Rachel,
you.
thank you.
Thank you
It's
for being
been a pleasure.
the co-pilot for the past year and
Another year.
another year, should I say. Let's see where we take off to in 2025.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed.
Actually, we might have to catch up at the end of 2025 and see what's going on.
I was actually
Oh,
saying
love to.
before we go, really quickly,
Go on, go on.
seconds, I wanted to find out from Manny, what can we expect from you? What have you got planned? Is there anything, there might be some exclusives, I don't know, but is there anything you can let us into that you'll be up to next year?
I've got some vineyard tours coming up in 2025. So we're planning a UK one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
another UK one that I've done one already, and we took 50 people down to a vineyard in West Sussex called Boney. 50 people have never been to a vineyard before. They loved it. Did a wine tasting there, vineyard tour. We took them out for dinner. It was great. So now we've got another one of those coming up, and we're also planning one abroad too. So
Right.
We'll be there.
Yes,
We'll be
make sure.
I can't say where yet, but we just know it's going to be abroad and it's going to be hot.
Excellent.
So
Follow
Excellent.
Manny Does Wine for more and keep following the business mix.
yeah.
Yes,
Plus, if
thank you, guys.
anyone wants a private wine tasting, holler at me.
Okay.
And I have
Okay.
my wine tastings coming up. They're all on the page as well.
Yeah.
So I've got some interesting ones coming up this year too. So yeah, man, get involved.
Also, I remember you saying if you're having like a dinner or a private event or a public event, you've got your menu, you'll be there to recommend
Recommend some wines for you
great
guys to
wines.
to try
Wow.
with that as well. So yeah, that's all part of the service.
It's more than just tasting, more than just
Yes, absolutely. Rightio. Alas, we say goodbye, farewell. See you next year.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Keep it colourful.